So, picture this: you've spent weeks, maybe even months, planning your perfect home theater. You've got the big 4K screen, the comfy seating, and a brand new, top-of-the-line surround sound system. You dim the lights, fire up the latest blockbuster, and the opening scene begins. But unfortunately, the sound doesn't sound right. The problem could be your surround sound speaker placement. In today's video, we will be discussing about rear surround sound speaker placement. Before we start, remember to subscribe to my channel for more tips and buying guides on home audio. And once you are done watching this video, comment below with your thoughts on this topic. I will love to know more about your surround sound setup. Now let's get started. So, why does speaker placement matter so much? It all comes down to how our brains process sound. We have two ears for a reason. Our brain uses tiny differences in time and volume to localize sound. This is called binaural hearing. It's why you know a car is approaching from your left or a bird is chirping above you. A home theater tricks your brain by recreating those cues. Front speakers, left, right, center, build the primary soundstage. They handle dialogue, music, and on-screen action. Rear surrounds do something different. They create envelopment. Now let's get into the specifics. While every room is different, there are some universally accepted guidelines like Dolby DTS. Think of these as the fundamental rules of the road. First up is height. For a standard 5.1 setup, your rear surround speakers should be placed slightly above your seated ear level. For a standard 7.1 setup, your rear surround speakers should be placed slightly above your seated ear level. The general recommendation is about 1 to 2 feet above your ears when you're sitting in your primary listening position. This height helps the sound travel over obstacles like furniture and other people, creating a more diffuse and immersive sound field. Next, let's talk about angles. This is where things get really interesting. In a classic 5.1 setup, the two surround speakers shouldn't actually be directly behind you. The rear surrounds work best when they're aimed toward the listening area, not straight ahead. Ideally, they should be positioned at about 110 to 120 degrees from your listening position. That means they sit just behind you, angled slightly inwards so the sound wraps around and blends seamlessly with the front channels. This angle gives you that you're in the middle of the action feeling. Finally, distance. Both rear surrounds should be placed in equal distance from your primary listening spot. If one is closer, the sound balance will feel off. Use your receiver's calibration system, or a tape measure if needed, to keep things symmetrical. A general rule is to place them 2 to 3 feet behind your seating area if your room allows. So remember, set your height slightly above ear level. Keep the angle between 110 and 120 degrees, and make sure the distance is equal from your main listening spot. Get these 3 right, and your rear surrounds will disappear into the sound field, leaving you fully immersed in movies, games, and music. Not everyone has a huge home theater room, and that's okay. You can still get great rear surround sound, even in a cozy space, if you place your speakers smartly. In smaller rooms, the challenge is usually limited wall space or your seating being right up against the back wall. If that's the case, instead of placing your speakers far behind you, try mounting them slightly above ear level and just a little behind your listening position. The extra height helps spread the sound more evenly, so it doesn't feel like it's blasting directly into your ears. If you don't have room to angle them perfectly, don't stress. In tight setups, you can mount the speakers on side walls, slightly behind where you sit, and angle them toward the center of the room. This way, you still get that wraparound effect without needing several feet of space behind you. Another tip: if your couch is against the wall, consider using bipole or dipole speakers. They fire sound in multiple directions, which creates a more spacious effect in close quarters. Even bookshelf speakers can work if you tilt them downward slightly from a higher mount to spread the sound naturally. The key in small spaces is balance. Keep the speakers equal in height and distance from your main seat as much as possible, and let your receiver's auto-calibration fine-tune the levels. So, even if your space is cozy, don't think you can't enjoy full surround sound. With smart placement, slightly above ear level, angled inward, or using the side walls, you can still pull off a truly immersive home theater experience without needing a massive room. If you're lucky enough to have a larger room or a dedicated theater space, you have a different set of opportunities and challenges. With more space, you have the freedom to place your speakers according to the ideal Dolby diagrams and the ideal DTS diagrams. The primary goal in a large room is to ensure the surround effects are clear and powerful enough to cover the entire seating area, not just one money seat. This often means choosing slightly larger surround speakers or even using multiple pairs. In a large room, pulling your couch away from the back wall is the single best thing you can do for your audio. This gives you the space to properly place your rear speakers behind the listening area, which is essential for a true 7.1 or 9.1 setup. Dolby Atmos setup with ceiling and overhead speakers can further enhance immersion. With the couch floated in the room, you can position your side surrounds at that perfect 90 to 110 degree angle, and your rear surrounds at 135 to 150 degrees. Using speaker stands can be a huge help here, giving you the flexibility to position them perfectly without being tied to wall locations. If your room has multiple rows of seating, consider using 4 side surround speakers so one pair serves each row. Wire them in parallel to the same surround channels on your receiver. This helps ensure that every viewer gets a balanced and immersive surround experience, not just the person in the sweet spot. Look, nobody gets this stuff perfect on the first try. I definitely didn't. One of my first surround setups was in a rectangular living room. I read the manual and followed the diagram. So I put the rear speakers in the far back corners, up high near the ceiling, pointing down at the couch. It seemed logical. It covered the whole room, right? Wrong. The sound was awful. Echoey, distant, disconnected. The problem? A few things combined. The speakers were too high. They were too far away. Timing got messed up. Room echo made everything muddy. The fix was simple. I bought stands and moved the speakers much closer to the couch. I placed them to the sides, then just slightly behind, 1 to 2 feet above ear level. Night and day difference. I also ignored my receiver's calibration for years. Then I used the included calibration microphone. Odyssey measured speaker distances down to the inch. It adjusted timing per channel perfectly and applied EQ for my room's quirks. Suddenly the sound snapped into focus. Dialogue synced. Surrounds cohesive and immersive. Lesson: trust the tech. That calibration mic is your best friend. Use it. So you've moved your speakers, run the calibration, and you think you've got it right. How can you be sure? The best way is to use your own ears, but you need to know what to listen for. Don't just jump into a random action movie. You need specific scenes designed to show off a good surround mix. There are plenty of Blu-ray setup discs, but you probably have movies in your collection right now that are perfect for testing. One of my favorites is the opening scene of Mad Max: Fury Road. The swirling, chaotic voices that surround Max are a fantastic test of your rear channels. In a well-calibrated system, those voices should feel like they are coming from all around you. Close your eyes and just listen. Another great test is any scene with rain or ambient forest sounds. The beginning of Blade Runner 2049. The jungle scenes in Avatar. Does the rain sound like it's falling all around you, or only from front and back? You want a bubble of rain, drips from different directions. Finally, test for smooth panning. The pod racing scene in Star Wars, Episode 1. The Phantom Menace is an oldie but a goodie. As racers fly past the camera, the sound should move seamlessly, from front to back, or side to side. If it jumps front to rear, tweak side surround placement or delay settings in your AVR. At the end of the day, these are all just guidelines. The perfect home theater setup is a journey, not a destination. The most important tool you have is your own ears. And the ultimate goal is to create an experience that you love. Don't be afraid to experiment. Move a speaker a few inches. Change the angle. And listen again. What sounds best in your room, with your gear, and for your ears is the correct setup? What are the biggest challenges you've faced with your home audio setup? Do you have a small room with the couch against the wall? Or a large open-concept living room that's hard to wrangle? Share your stories in the comments below. If you found this guide helpful and you want to continue leveling up your home theater game, make sure you subscribe for more tips and tricks that makes these experiences possible. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video coming up soon.